Yes, welcome to the Poljudu Stadium here in Split. It is quite some atmosphere that has been built up here. Stadium which holds just under 35,000. A seashell-shaped stadium. That's how you describe the roofs on either side, but open at each end, a bit like the Aviva Stadium, just the one end there, but they dip down to my left. When it was light, I could see some of the mountains that Split is below. To my right, while there are lights on in blocks of flats in this lovely city on the Adriatic coast. The crowd are expecting. They all had scarves on their seats to wave. It's been a really well choreographed entrance as Croatia and Wales enter this cauldron of noise for the start of the Euro 2024 qualification campaign. The players walking onto what looks a pristine condition pitch to a little setup on the halfway line. They walk around each flag, Croatia to the right and the Red Dragon of Wales to the left. Some 1,800 Red Wall fans have made the trip to Croatia, and there will be some formalities. As they welcome the one is Dejan Lovren, who recently retired from the national team, and he of course was part of the Qatar squad. He's gone since then, he has retired. He won a silver medal though also in the World Cup in 2018, so he's got a bronze and a silver, as well as Ivan Strinic, who retired a few years back, but he was part of their World Cup finals team in Russia in 2018. So there's a little presentation of shirts, first to the senior man Strinic, and then Dejan Lovren, well acquainted of course to United Kingdom listeners. He's going to get a Croatia shirt, which is in glass, and then two of his children have turned up as well in Croatian flags, just to be part of. It was a special moment for Dejan Lovren. The two sides are waiting patiently. There will also be a moment of silence for Miroslav Chino Blažević, the Croatia coach from the 1990s, led the team to the bronze medal at that World Cup in 1998. He died in February, and also for Peter Naveza of Hajduk Split. But first the anthems, starting with Helad Van Hadai. Did their best, the Red Wall, against this fearsome sound system that they have here. One of the loudest I've ever heard at an international venue. And now the Croatian anthem, Our Beautiful Homeland. Well, both anthems very well respected by both sets of fans. Really good to see as the two teams walk past each other. A cursory touch of the hands from each player. And we're not far away from the start now. So let's go through those sides. Let's start with Wales. Danny Ward in goal. Across the back, Connor Roberts, Chris Metham, Joe Roden and Nico Williams. Ethan Ampadu and Joe Morrell, we believe, will be the holding midfield players. Three in front of them, the Fulham pair, Harry Wilson and Dan James on the flanks. Captain Aaron Ramsey returning to the skipper's role. He will play in behind Bournemouth's Kiefer Moore. There are three home-based players in the Croatian side. Dominik Livakovic, the goalkeeper. Josip Šutalo, the centre-back, who's like Livakovic. He's from Dinamo Zagreb. And Marko Livaja, who plays his football here at Hajduk Split. So they have Livakovic in goal, Juranovic, Šutalo, Gvardiol and Sosa at the back. This midfield triumvirate of Brozovic, Modric, the captain, and Kovacic of Chelsea. Karamarich and Perisic of Tottenham are on the flanks, and Livaja will play down the middle. And the referee is João Pinheiro of Portugal. He's been a FIFA referee since 2016, so now the sides will take to the centre circle because there, as I just suggested, there will be a moment of silence for Miroslav Ciro Blažević. The coach from the 1990s, led the team to the bronze medal of the World Cup in 1998. He died in February. And for Petar Nadaveza, the Hajduk Split forward, he died just a few days ago. Sure that worked too well, if I'm honest. But there we are. They weren't Wales fans, you could hear, by the way. Should say that. So Croatia are in black strip with blue flashing on their shirts, and Wales all in white with just a few red stripes. And it's Croatia playing from left to right who will kick off here on a cool evening in Split. It's the start of the Euro 2024 qualifying campaign for a place in Germany. Wales have reached the last two Euro competition finals. 2016 was a watershed moment, but this is a new era. No Bale, no Allen, no Gunter. Some of the glittering jewels of the golden generation not here. So the transition starts now, and it could hardly be tougher, Nathan Blake.
Yeah, and you can see the setup already, Robert. Got a lovely high perch here, four at the back, two holding in front as we suspected, three in front of them, and the big man Kiefer Moore up front on his home. So I suspect Wales are going to try and sit a bit deeper and counter-attack this fantastic Croatian team.
First touch for Modric, the Croatian captain, the most capped Croatian player, and at 37 still going very strong. They're holding the ball in their midfield area. Brozovic easily picked out with his orange boots. Across the halfway line, touched by Modric. Back to Gvardiol, highly rated Leipzig player. Perisic heads the ball inside, but that will be the first touch for Danny Ward, who lost his place in the Leicester goal in the last game before the international break. So it's not been a great time for him, and that is a problem Rob Page does face Nathan, you talked about it before the game, there's nothing he can do about players not playing for their clubs.
No, there's absolutely nothing you can do about that, Rob. And you know, you just, I suppose if you're the manager, if you're Rob Page, you just have to put a lot of faith in people and hope for the best and hope that they can pull a performance out, because, you know, like anybody in any sport, you know, if you're sat on the bench or you're not, you know, training every day or playing every day, you know, training every day is fine, but when you get the competition time, you need to be at your sharpest, at your best, and you only get that by performing. So, like you said, Rob, not a lot can be done about that. It's not in control of that situation.
Wales are seeing a bit of the ball now with Roden on the edge of his own penalty area, touched by Ramsey, out to this left-hand side to Nico Williams of Nottingham Forest, of course. His clubmate Brennan Johnson not here. And Wales get out of their defensive zone. Ball forward by Connor Roberts, he's not convincing though, gives the ball away. Modric 25 yards out, shoots, and Ward is forced into his first save. That ball go off for a corner, he got down to his right, did Danny Ward. It wasn't the best struck shot from Luka Modric, but Ward was forced to save, and Wales have conceded a very early corner. Yeah,
and it was a good throw in, a good strike and a good movement by Modric, but you know, the ball out from Dan James, he's tried to play it around the corner, I think, or I think Connor Roberts has tried to play around the corner. Dan James hasn't read it, just can't afford to give those balls away so easily.
Modric is going to take this corner from the left-hand side, the armband gleaming in the lights, headed away by Joe Roden, chased by Ramsey, and Ramsey does well, bangs the ball against Modric on that far touchline, and wins a Wales throw. 0-0, 3 minutes gone. BBC Radio Wales and 5 Sport Extra, as well as BBC Sounds, covering every kick of Wales's Euro 2024 qualification campaign. The aim is to get to Germany.
Yeah, I think that chance conceded, Rob, just comes from, you know, Connor Roberts. He's left with no real choice. And I think Dan James attempts to go down the line rather than just try and hold his position and just maybe back in, play as a centre forward for a moment. He's just got to recognise that.
Brozovic hurried by Joe Morrell. Didn't see much action in the World Cup, which would have been a disappointment for him. Here's Guardiol wide to Sosa. This is just inside the Wales half. Crossfield ball to Modric, touches it quickly back. Awkward for Modric on the return. And Ethan Amadou just a bit strong. Helen Ward, who's in studio for us, former Wales striker. Helen, are you surprised by what you've seen so far?
No, I think we're expecting to see Croatia dominate possession and Wales try and contain that. And I think, you know, he touched on it before with Connor Roberts' loose pass. I think when Wales do get the ball, they need to be good in possession and maintain it for as long as they can to try and build some sort of attack and keep Croatia at bay. But they're so good at keeping the ball that it's no surprise to see them playing nice sort of short passes in and around the halfway line. They're, you know, trying to force their way through, but Wales just need to stay strong, stay compact, stay organised, and hopefully contain them and, as we mentioned before, catch them on the break. But no surprises so far.
They've given the ball away then. Ramsey has got in and he's won it back once more. The Wales captain takes it off Kramaric. Nico Williams back to his goalkeeper Ward, who almost let the ball go off his foot, but plays it out to that far side, but Wales lose it again, cross into the Wales penalty area, and it bounced off Joe Roden, who's saying, what on earth has happened to the rest of you then?
Yeah,
and it's
very
up for
lucky.
Another corner.
Very lucky. Great ball in. I think it's Lavia. Got a cross Roden. I think he just got a touch on it, Rob. Turned his head a bit too much. Slight touch, and Roden, it just deflected off him. So fortunate.
Modric corner from the left-hand side. They're second already. We've played 6 goalless minutes. He's going to take this right-footed. But it goes in towards the near post again, headed away by the Wales defence. Picked up on halfway and driven back to The goalkeeper, Livakovic, plays his football with Dinamo Zagreb, one of their World Cup heroes, of course. They won 2 penalty shootouts before falling to Argentina, no disgrace there, in the semi-final.
The country that punches well above its weight, isn't it, Rob? Just under 4 million people. We only have maybe 750,000 people more than Wales, so you know, it just shows what can be done.
Here's Modric again, but it's nipped off him by Dan James, and then Kiefer Moore, header straight to Modric, just a floater over the Wales defence. Roden gets back there, and it's a free kick against Brozovic for barging into the back of Joe Morel. 0-0. Yeah, they do punch above their weight, Croatia, no doubt about that. It's extraordinary, really.
Well, I think it's all in the planning. It's proof. It's evident that it can be done, Rob. As I say, we've had a golden decade for Wales. It's important that continues now. It's all about, they talk about grassroots a lot, and then, you know, this will be the test over the next 10 years.
It will be. In this group earlier, Turkey won 2-1 in Armenia, not without a fright because they fell behind. And the other group member is Latvia, who are in Cardiff on Tuesday night, live on BBC Radio Wales. Clearance down this near side, but it's sliced out.
Am I right in saying Modric made his debut in 2006, Rob?
It's he's on 100. This is his 163rd cap today. It is an astonishing record. He's also got 23 goals.
Yeah, amazing player.
Yeah.
You think? Even Rakitic, I think it was. Played for Barca. He's another favourite midfielder of mine. Very good player.
Here's Ampadu moving forward, leaves it to James, left-hand side of the Croatia penalty area. Goes back to Williams. Williams, almost a short ball to Morel, but he makes something of it. Has to play it sharply to Ampadu. Now it's with Mepham. Wilson is back there, has to go all the way back to his goalkeeper, Danny Ward. Then he chips it forward out to this near side. It's headed up in the air by Ramsey, collects his own header, then feeds the ball into the centre circle, where it's played back into the Wales half, but Ampadu gets the ball back again. Bit scrappy all this at the moment. James has to run back and wins the ball really well and sends Ramsey forward down this left-hand side. Little step over by the Wales captain. Looks for James, just cut out though.
Yeah, and Aaron acknowledges his poor ball. Brilliant from Dan James. Tracks back, gets across his defender, wins the ball back, takes it off him like candy off a child. And then releases himself, gives the ball to Aaron, and he's away. One decent pass and he's in behind there.
10 minutes gone, goalless here in Split. Modric puts the ball over the top to Juranovic, cross into the box, went past everybody. There was danger there. And the Wales defence were a little bit statuesque then, Nathan Blake.
Yeah, it was actually a great ball, Rob. It's one of them, you expect Ward to come, but he's not sure, the defender's not sure. And in the end, everybody leaves it and the danger passes, but sometimes you just have to doff your cap and say, very good ball in.
Croatia ranked 7th in the world. Wales, because of their World Cup, dropped down a little to 28th. But it's still goalless here as Modric picks the ball centre field.
Yeah, he needs to just watch this problem here.
Right-hand side again, Juranovic cross into the penalty area. It's well, it was in the end dealt with by Morel.
I think what they're trying to do, Rob, is play out to this right-hand side, and with Kramaric and trying to suck in Nico Williams and then play the ball in between him and Rodon, so Kramaric gets in behind, but Nico's doing well, but because he's giving him that time and that bit of space, he's just putting himself in a bit of danger.
Morel flicks on the heads on the clearance by Ward. Clearance up on this near side. Nico Williams forces the error. Ampadu, curl ball with the outside of his foot, but it doesn't find its destination. And Guardiola tidies up wide on the edge of his own penalty area. 0-0. A little bit scrappy so far, but Wales won't worry too much about that. Again, down this right-hand side, they're looking all the time for the ball over the top to Kramaric. And it's cleared forward by Williams. It's just going to dribble out for a throw-in down the Croatia right in their right-back position. Taken quickly by Šutalo of Dinamo Zagreb. Good noise in this stadium. Has been for a good couple of hours, Nathan Blake. Yeah. Don't we know?
Don't we know it, Rob? I've had the headphones on for 2 hours, blocking out the tannoy, or trying to. Still didn't work.
Wilson goes to ground centre field. He's still on the deck. Referee unimpressed.
That's good forward play.
And James gives the ball away to Modric. That's not a good sign. Brozovic surges forward, wide to this near side. Kramaric crosses into the box, and it just eluded the run of the Tottenham player Ivan Perisic.
Yeah, that's just a little mix-up between Kiefer Moore and Dan James. Dan James is looking to get in behind. At the same time, doesn't really recognise that Kiefer's not, body position. He's not got the right body position to put that ball in behind. Just needed to check his run, have it defeat, maybe try a 1-2, or just knock it past the defender himself. Just a little confusion between the two.
Helen Ward, don't want to speak too soon, but 30 minutes gone. So far, so good.
Yeah, it's okay. I think we can still be better in possession at times, but certainly holding their own at the moment. I think we need a good platform to play off up front, but if we can get a little bit more territory and grow into the game, then there's certainly positive signs.
Roberts plays down the right-hand side and wins Wales's first corner, just as Helen Ward wanted. Here on BBC Radio Wales 5 Sport Extra, corner taken quickly on that right-hand side, chipped into the box, and just a little bit too high for Kiefer Moore. Did get there, but it bounced off his forehead. Just a glance really as he was falling back, and it's out for a goal kick.
Well, the real opportunity, Rob, was when the ball initially went out to the right-hand side. Yes, to win a corner, and that's the worst case scenario, but if you get that ball in early to Kiefer, we had men in the box also supporting him.
And that was a bit of a rugby tackle then by Nico Williams.
Yeah, something tells me that's going to be a good battle this evening, Rob, between those two. Kramaric and Nico.
It's 0-0.
I think Helen made the point. It's in possession need to be a bit better, Wales, especially in that final third and getting to that final third.
Kovacic sets up the shot and Ward has the save. Lovely bit of skill by Kovacic. Little back heel into the path of Kramaric, and he drove it right-footed from outside the box. And Ward is forced to save again, and this time it's a corner on the Croatian right. He's already been forced into plenty of action as Danny Ward. Having said that, he probably expected a busy night. Rhythmic clapping from the Croatia fans as Modric curls in the corner, cleared away by the Wales defence again. It's going to come back towards them though. And it's played wide to the left-hand side. Low cross into the box. Oh, bounce ricocheted off a couple of Wales players then, and then it's driven well over the top. And Wales have got away with that.
Yeah, probably the best passage of play we've seen this opening 15-16 minutes, Rob. Like you say, really good play. Lovely little back heel. I have to say, equalled by the save by Danny Ward. Strong down to his left. Great save.
Yeah, Kovacic of Chelsea won 3 Champions League titles with Real Madrid, 1 with Chelsea. Here comes the Wales captain Ramsey darting down the left side. Has James on his outside. Ramsey goes into the penalty area. James goes back to Williams. Ampadu brings in Mepham just inside the Croatia half. Wants Wilson to go short. Wilson plays it back to Roden, 10 yards inside the Wales half. Plenty of white shirts in the Croatia half. Ramsey tries to flick it past his marker, Ampadu, to Wilson, looking for Ramsey again. This time the first time pass from Wilson is intercepted. And Wales is fighting to get the ball back, but there were one or two passes then which Rob Page will want to see.
Yeah, it's just that one from Harry Wilson. At this level, Rob, people just step in, read that pass all day. Just needs to take a touch there. Just take care of it a bit more. So Helen Ward was talking about maintaining possession in those vital areas, because from there, the next pass can go in behind.
Yeah. Well, they're compact at the moment, Wales, as they're going to have to be for this game. Brozovic, wearing 8, brings in Guardiola. Guardiola wide to that far side. Right-footed cross in from the left by Sosa. Dealt with by the Wales defence, but it's coming back towards them once more with Brozovic centre field. Goes square to Modric. Immediately Dan James looks lively. Modric just dictating play from a deeper. He's like a quarterback in American football. He's the deepest of the attacking players at the moment as Brozovic goes on a run towards the edge of the penalty area. He tries a shot, but it's blocked. Wilson plays the ball out. Kiefer Moore's not going to get that. Anywhere will do on times, Nathan Blake.
Yeah, at times, Rob. Just want to clear your lines, reset.
Modric rushed into almost a mistake, but he's clever enough to win it back, as Kiefer Moore thought he'd done the challenge perfectly on halfway, and Wales are under pressure. Perisic goes on the outside, cross into the penalty area. James heads it away, picked up by Modric, right side, clips it into the penalty area, and Ward collects that, and it's still goalless here on Radio Wales and 5 Sport Extra. Helen Ward, Wales are going to have to be compact throughout.
Yeah, they are. We've seen that already, that Croatia, they're all over possession, but Nathan mentioned that when they are getting forward, it's almost like, because the front three are lacking in game time, they're rushing things and trying to get rid of it as soon as possible. And anyone that's played will know that when you haven't played often, you want to get the best outcome, and you sometimes don't want the ball as much at your feet, and you want to try and get rid of it as soon as possible. But they just need to hold it for 1 or 2 touches more to bring others into play, because when it is a counter-attacking sort of game that they're hoping to play, they need to wait for the support to get forward. You can't just play off 1 and 2 touch. And again, as Blakey said, that the Croatian defenders they're not silly. They're going to step in and read those balls all day long. So they need to back themselves a little bit more to hold on to the ball for just a split second longer, and then that enables the likes of Aaron Ramsey, Ethan Ampadu and Joe Morrell to back up the play, potentially the wing backs as well. But it's a solid start.
Wales record goal scorer Helen Ward here on BBC Radio Wales alongside Nathan Blake and myself, sort of speaking. I mean, she's not alongside us physically because we're in split season studio. In spirit, absolutely. Rob. It's great to have her.
Just looking at Harry Wilson, it was actually, I thought it was Dan James earlier, but it was Harry who was giving the ball away, and he's just done it. A minute or so ago again. Just needs to take care. He looks a bit rusty at the moment.
He's trying,
and that's what Helen was saying. Trying too hard.
Yeah, he is.
Trying to do things too soon, too quickly. Like Helen said, take that extra touch, wait for the support. Unless you've got a one-on-one with your defender, then get at him.
Well, we're coming up to the midway point of the first half, and it's still goalless. Wales playing a Croatia side for the 7th time. They've never beaten Croatia, but they'll be happy to see that pass flighted over the top. of Juranovic. And up for a Wales throw in their left back position. Nico Williams will take it, of Nottingham Forest. Burrell goes short. Williams tries to run away from Brozovic, but wins the Kovacic that time wins the free kick. And he leaves it to Williams in the orange boots. Well, it's going to be Ampadu, plays his football in Spezia, and then Ampadu leaves the ball. Referee gets annoyed, saying get a move on. Bit early to start time wasting, Nathan Blake. Or is it?
No, it is a bit too early, Rob, but ball up, here we go.
Yeah, Ramsey won it and played it to James. James crosses into the box and Livakovic collects. He let it go. I think it was swerving inside the far post, but it was an easy take for the Dinamo Zagreb goalkeeper, who started all 7 games at the World Cup. Actually, he was born in Zadar, which is the same city that produced Luka Modric. This is his 3rd appearance against Wales, so he's getting used to this opposition. 0-0. Crowd slightly quieter now, Nathan.
Yeah, Wales have done well.
Conor Roberts.
Say that, yeah. Conor Roberts gives a
needless free kick away. Against Sosa, Borna Sosa. Conor Roberts, of course, part of the Burnley side, who will be in the Premier League next season, I'm sure. Getting tuition off Welshman Craig Bellamy, of course, who Aaron Ramsey goes past today in 79 caps. Leaves Craig Bellamy behind. Ball over the top of the Wales defence. Oh, Wales stopper offside! And it wasn't given. Oh, now the offside flag goes up.
Well, I was going to say, I'm not sure who that is with the hand in the air. I'm not sure.
We don't have monitors in front of us.
No,
so
and we're a long way away. I think it might have been Conor Roberts. I was going to say, just forget about your hand in the air. Just get back and defend quicker.
I wonder whether Helen Ward might have had a better view of that, ironically. Helen, was that offside?
It wasn't actually. There were 2 or 3 players in the middle who were offside, but the run from Perisic was well timed, and I think he missed a shot anyway. But Wales got away with one there because he certainly wasn't offside.
Yeah, it did look suspect, didn't it, Rob?
Yeah, just the 124th cap for Ivan Perisic tonight.
Is that all? Yeah, you have to say, some of these players absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, he's
what they've achieved at international level.
He's got 33 goals, but he's never scored in the stadium for his country. Ball chipped down the right side.
Yeah, that's my worry with Wales. It's that position.
Trying to play a worldie. Ampadu just drags back.
Yeah, needs to be careful,
Modric,
Ethan.
and Ampadu is going to see the first yellow card. Don't think you can have too many complaints about that. Just a yard off it then he was, and Modric, rather than allow him to run wide out to that left-hand side, just pulled him back. Referee no option but to give him the first caution of the European campaign for Wales. It's going to be a free kick, 25 yards away from the Wales penalty area, left of centre, 10 yards in from the far touchline.
Have to make sure he's well disciplined now, Ethan.
The Wales defensive wall is about 2-3 yards outside their penalty area. Then the black shirts run into the box, took a couple of deflections, and it's still not dealt with by Wales. And the shot is deflected. No, the referee, I don't think has given it.
No, he's disallowed it for a foul.
He's disallowed it, yeah, for a foul.
Unfortunate,
it was
though.
hammered home via a deflection. I think it was Perisic who hit the shot. Luka Modric, the Croatia captain, is in deep conversation, a bit of a one-way conversation with the referee. And Danny Ward has just quietly got the ball and is ready to take the free kick. They lived dangerously then.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it was for the challenge. I know the Croatian player ended up on the floor in a heap, but I think he was climbing over the Welsh defender.
Ward clears long, looking for Kiefer Moore. He's been accurate with those, often delivered them onto Kiefer Moore's chest. And then Williams hoists a crossfield ball onto the chest of Connor Roberts. Back to Mepham, Moore's Bournemouth teammate. And Morel holds possession away from Croatia. Ward, lazy right-footed swing forward. Guardiol of RB Leipzig, being linked with plenty of Premier League clubs after his World Cup performances, dealt with that. Clearance. And Wales have lost possession here. Chance! And it's driven in. Ondrej Kramaric opens the scoring for Croatia. Wales were weak defensively, then he burst through the middle. They lost possession, and a fierce drive from distance left Ward stranded, and it's Croatia 1, Wales 0. We played 28 minutes.
Yeah, disappointing goal to concede that. Joe Rodon won't be happy at all. Gets bullied, if you like, too easy. He's got his hands in the air. He's got to be stronger. That's his game, the aggressive part of the game, going and winning that. If he doesn't win it, he's got to stay goal side, Rob. And also, you have to say, it's pretty poor by Nico Williams as well. But a very good finish by Kramaric. Wales find themselves a goal down after, 28 minutes.
Ondrej Kramaric of Hoffenheim scores his 23rd goal for his country. And Croatia have their European campaign up and running here in Split. Helen Ward's thoughts?
That's a really disappointing goal to concede from many counts. I think Blakey said that Joe Rodon's got to do better initially, Nico Williams, and although it's a nice finish, there wasn't a massive amount of power on it, and I don't think it was quite in the corner. Maybe Danny Ward was sort of fooled by him using the outside of his foot, but he got his hand there, so I think maybe he'd be disappointed that he hasn't saved it. But for all Wales' good work, they've been undone by sort of 2 or 3 moments of poor play from Wales. So really disappointing way to concede a goal. They've had a let off a moment ago with the foul inside the area, but yeah, the pressure's been building a bit, but they had been containing it until this point, so really, really disappointing.
Yeah, let's be honest, it was a catalogue of errors, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, like Helen said, it wasn't in the corner.
No.
But I think he got done by the outside of the foot, to be honest with you, Rob. Just cut across it, but almost nonchalantly. Didn't ping it, didn't put power into it. Just seemed to stroke it. But say, Joe Rodon, very disappointed, needs to get goal side. Be more aggressive.
The home side is streaking forward again, crossing from the left-hand side. This time it is a free kick against an angry Joe Rodon.
Yeah,
angry with himself.
Yeah, he's probably still annoyed at that goal, because you don't, in fairness to Joe, you don't often see him getting beat, in an aggressive duel. That's something he really looks forwards to and almost prides himself upon. Don't really see him with his hands out in the air looking for a free kick, and it was never a free kick. And then Nico, just a bit too easy from him.
Ward finds Moore again, and Dan James is left on the deck, off the pitch, and that's a booking for Juranovic. First Croatian to see yellow. But James is okay. Should tell you elsewhere, Spain lead Norway by a 1-0. And earlier in this group, Turkey won 2-1 in Armenia. Scotland, of course, beat Cyprus 3-0. They ended up with 10 men. Did Cyprus. Best win of the day was Switzerland winning 5-0 in Belarus. Wilson with his free kick for Wales. Can they strike back from the left-hand side? Chips it into the box. Ivakovic came for it and collected. No worries at all. His deep orange kit easily seen in this stadium, and you could see him homing in on that from almost the moment it left Harry Wilson's boot. Modric under pressure from Ampadu. This time Ampadu is a little over aggressive, does have to watch it. Free kick given and taken quickly.
Yes, it's that right across the midfield, isn't it, Rob? Perisic on the left, Kovacic, Brozovic, Modric, and then Kramaric on this right-hand side. Seem to have so much time and so much understanding of each other's games.
Yeah, and Modric is at the heart of most things with them. Williams just bundled off the ball then by Juranovic. Throw into Croatia, 5 yards from the near corner flag. Down the Croatian right, 33 minutes on the clock. Wales trailing 1-0 here in Split. It's going to be a long throw from Josip Juranovic. Plays for Union Berlin, a surprise package in the Bundesliga this season. Headed up in the air, but it should be cleared by Williams from the edge of the box. Took a deflection, and Wales charged down Brozovic.
Big Kiefer Moore gone down there.
Yeah, he has. I think got one maybe in the face, I think.
It's weird not having a monitor, isn't it?
It is, yeah. We don't often not have it for European and World Cup games.
It's clearly a problem because a couple of our Croatian colleagues have these sort of look like DJ boxes with TVs inside. Maybe we can get one of them.
Well, I'm not. Well, this is the BBC, Nathan. We can't afford that.
That's just another box for you to carry, Rob.
Think of the licence fee. Ball is bouncing around midfield till it goes back to Gvardiol and Ivakovic. Gvardiol again, bearded, impressive Leipzig centre-back. And the Croatian fans have found their voice now after that goal.
Yeah, like Helen said, you had the warning shot over your bow 2 minutes before. To concede in that man, I think they'll be very disappointed.
Leicester City fans would be surprised to see Kramaric. He failed at the Foxes. It was a club record signing at the time, and just didn't happen for him. As the ball into the Wales penalty area, and it was set up for Modric to hit first time. A deft little header, and Modric for once was off target with a shot. It was Perisic who got into the box and just cushioned it for Modric to hit on the volley, high and wide of Danny Ward's right-hand post.
It was great effort, wasn't it? Expected him at least to hit the target from there, Rob.
Ward's taking his time with the goal kick. Wales trailing 1-0. This time he flights it out to the right side. Roberts beaten in the air, but Morale follows up to head it into the Croatian half. Roberts again. And the space cut down by two Croatian players then. But
yeah, and Ethan is having a go at that. He's got to come and either collect that or check his run and get him behind, one or the other.
Talented, isn't he? He's a future captain, isn't he, Ethan Ampadu?
Yeah.
This Wales lineup. I don't think there's any doubt about that. He's on the ball now.
Sometimes I think I'll just let this play out, Rob.
Wilson lost that too easily, the goal scorer, Kramaric. As Croatia build down there, left-hand side now, Brozovic into the penalty area. It's a little touch, but Wales have dealt with that. And they've won a throw-in, but it's right by the corner flag. No room at all on that far side. Nepham and Conor Roberts between them. 1-0 Wales trail on BBC Radio Wales and 5 Sport Extra. And not a great deal to get worked up about in this Wales performance so far, Nick.
Do you know what, Rob? I'd like to see, I'd like to see, just making the point, we have 2 wide men who like to play inverted, like to come inside. I'd like to see them switch in and really attack those defenders on the outside and just see what happens. You know, Harry Wilson on his left, Dan James on the right. He loves to go inside. Go and attack people on the outside and see what happens.
Williams slipped as he tried to thread the ball through to James down his left-hand side. Ramsey starts the press. Livakovic cross to Šutalo. It's just happening inside the Croatia penalty area, but Brozovic has gone back there now. And the break is on down the left-hand side again. Brozovic once more into Modric. Kovacic just bursts through the middle. Kovacic onto his left foot, sets it up. Plenty of Wales players there. And, well, really, Danny Ward had an easier save than he expected to make. Well, he's cleared quickly. Moore has picked it up. Wales inside the Croatia half. Now James tries to run at Juranovic, but runs into traffic. It's just not working for him. That was Sousa who had the shot earlier. He's on the ball now, left hand side, leaves it to Brozovic. Kovacic trots across. Just their movement is beguiling on times, isn't it?
Yeah, our problem is we're okay up to the halfway line. It's once we get beyond that, Rob.
Here's Kramaric, the goal scorer, right side of the penalty area. Threatening to go one way, then the other. Can he get the crossover? He can. It's dealt with by Mepham. A screwed header across his own 6-yard box. Perisic now on the other side. Flicks the ball into the box.
Clever.
Goes for the return. Wales scramble it away. And Dan James buys a free kick on the edge of the D.
I'm glad you said that, Rob, because that's how I thought. It's a clever play, we call it. I'm not sure who gave a free kick away, but he's furious straight away at a pop with the referee.
6 minutes to go to half-time, Helen Ward. In important period now for Wales just to, well, not fall further behind.
Yeah, they've got to stay in the game, not do anything too silly. But what I would like to see, and it goes on Blakey's point earlier about the wide players, Juranovic is on a yellow card now, and he's just had a little foul there and a pop at the referee. He's on thin ice, and with someone like Dan James and the pace he's got, whether it's him or Harry Wilson, try and isolate him 1v1, because he's not going to be able to touch you, and that's potentially a route forward for Wales. But they do, you know, as you said, this period leading up to half-time, it's important to keep the shape, not fall any further behind, and keep themselves in the game, because if you go 2-0 down at this stage, it's going to be very, very difficult to come back from.
Helen, your big mate from Wales Days, Jo Price, has said she's listening and she's waiting for one of those facts that she loves trivia, does the ex-Wales goalkeeper Jo Price.
She does.
So I'll just tell her that we're in the home of the world's biggest truffle.
She'll like that one too.
There you go. So yeah, there we are.
She said to say hi too.
All right, that's okay then. Yeah, Croatia, famous for truffles, as the ball goes into the Wales penalty area. Oh, it was Conor Roberts who did well to get out of the way, because I think had it gone off his leg, it would have been deflected in for 2-0. And all our talk about not falling further behind would have been over in seconds. Brozovic on the ball again. Kovacic into the edge of the box, but strong challenge that time.
Just can't get out, Rob.
But they can't get away. You took the words out of my mouth. Radio Wales Sport and 5 Sport Extra. 4 minutes to half time. Wales trailing 1-0. Kramaric with the goal. On 27 minutes.
I think that's what Wales need to do. You should just see that ball Modric just played there over the halfway line. You know, he's into Wales' half. What Wales haven't utilised at all from the 2 centre-halves or the holding midfielders, which Ethan Ampadu is more than capable of doing, is that diagonal pass. You've got Dan James who can catch pigeons on one side and Harry Wilson who's quick enough on the other. I thought that's something they would have really worked on. I thought I would have seen quite a bit of it actually. Not overkill, but I thought I would have seen it played at least 3 or 4 times this half. Not seen it attempted yet.
There's more. Don't think that was intended for Harry Wilson. Wilson has won a free kick on the edge of the D. It was the much vaunted Guardiola who went straight into the back of the Fulham player, who's grabbed the ball. I wonder now, is this Aaron Ramsey or Harry Wilson territory, Nathan Blake?
I would say, well, I think Helen made the point earlier. If we hadn't had such a fantastic free kick taken in Gareth Bale, I think Harry Wilson, he had done well. I've seen him score quite a few good free kicks.
Scored some spectacular goals for Wales in his day. And when you get an opportunity like this, you've got to try and make it count.
Yeah, I think probably it looks like Aaron is pulling rank.
It's his 26th birthday on Wednesday, but you could be right. Aaron Ramsey is squaring up a right-footed drive.
Yeah, although Wilson looks... No, I tell you what, Wilson's shaping up like he's one place the ball. I think Aaron might dummy it.
So they've got a doorstop as well behind the Croatian wall. It's Wilson just over the top of the bar. They want a corner. Both he and the captain Ramsey are appealing to the referee, but he's saying goal kick. Wasn't too far away.
It was a good effort, Rob.
Helen Ward, a Wales threat at last.
Yeah, indeed, and it was a corner as well. It was a deflected off the head of the end of the wall. Can't quite see who it was. Might have been Perisic, but it was certainly a deflection and should have been a corner. But a good effort. You know, it was a misplaced pass into Harry Wilson in the first place, but he did well to get the free kick, used his body well, and that's exactly what they need. They need to have a platform to build on, and that was a little better from the front three.
And you can hear in the distance the red wall. You saw the flags out today.
Yeah, great spirits today, weren't they, Rob?
Yeah, Llanfair Machynlleth. It was idyllic on the water side.
I love them because they're under no illusions, Rob. They know what it is coming here, how difficult it's going to be.
Yeah.
They're not saying, oh, well, I think we can get a win and knew this and that. They're so realistic in their expectations. Absolutely.
Yeah. Williams does well to hold off Modric as he tries to break out of a defensive position. So he's playing the ball around with some comfort, not going too far. Oh, and then the ball's given away to Kramaric, who just scored. Shoots left foot in and chips it over the top from inside the D.
That's lucky, Rob. Nico Williams. It's one of them. He's probably praying to himself, please don't hit the target. Real sloppy pass inside. The old adage, don't play square balls, especially across the back four there. Dangerous pass. Almost gave up did give up an opportunity. Just a poor finish
so
in the end.
So important, isn't it, at international level? It sounds obvious, but you cannot make mistakes.
Did we say this last night? This was kind of the conversation we were having last night. It's a different level of game, Rob.
It is, yeah.
It's a totally different level of game.
1 minute of added time. There are some who probably would have settled for 1-0 at half time.
I would, yeah, I would, because you're still in the game, Rob. One good piece of play, one moment like we just saw with the free kick, and you're back on level terms.
Well cleared up to Wilson, didn't do much with the header, but Ramsey has won it. And the break is on. I think, why didn't Moore leave it? Because Wilson was onside.
No, I think he was onside as well.
I thought he was offside then.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I would say Juranovic was just playing him on. Maybe level.
So, your thoughts, Nathan Blake, as we come to the final few seconds of this first half?
Yeah, okay, Rob, just okay. There's a lot of factors playing a part tonight, like we know, players' match fitness and things like that, but they've set up okay. They need to be a bit braver, I think, and a bit stronger in possession.
And that is the half-time whistle here in Split. Well, Wales have not been overwhelmed, but they are trailing. Ivan Kramaric Andre Kramaric with the goal on 27 minutes outside of his right boot from distance, through too good for Danny Ward. But it was really a self-made error by some sloppy Wales defending, and Croatia made them pay. You have to say the home side are in control, but Wales are not out of this yet. And they had one little scare to offer just before the break when Harry Wilson put a free kick over the top of the crossbar. Half-time here in Split. It's Croatia 1, Wales 0.
Well, we knew it was going to be difficult, didn't we? And it certainly proved to be the case. But just looking, Helen Ward, at the body language of the two sets of players coming off and heading down the tunnel for half-time, clearly Wales are not going to be happy with the goal that they've conceded. Connor Roberts in particular looked pretty annoyed as we saw a shot of him there. But equally, Croatia looks slightly rattled that they're not further in front. I mean, as we're saying, 1-0, not too bad a scoreline. We might have expected this. Croatia might have expected to be further in front. Yeah,
I think the amount of possession they've had and some potential moments that they've had in front of goal. I mean, Danny Ward's made a couple of saves. He hasn't had exceptional amount to do, but he has had to make a couple of saves. There was one or two moments where you feel they should have tested the keeper a little bit more. So I can see why they're disappointed with the amount of possession they've had. And they've seen, towards the end there, that because they're not further in front, a moment of quality potentially up the other end can really harm them. So, yeah, I can see why they're frustrated. I think Wales will be frustrated to an extent. As we said, that the goal they conceded was poor. But they're still in the game, and that's the biggest thing. If you get to half-time in a game like this and you still feel like you're within touching distance, that's a good sign. And, anything can happen in the second half. Continue to frustrate Croatia. If they can, stay in it towards the end of the game, then you maybe start making some changes and throw on some fresh legs that could potentially go and, take a gamble and get themselves a point out of it.
Nathan Blake, we've got monitors here, unlike you, so we can look at some stats. And 63% possession for Croatia in that first half, 9 shots overall. Wales, no shots on target. I don't know about you as well, but I have flashbacks to the World Cup and that Iran game where Wales conceded twice late on when Croatia just cut through the middle of Wales to score. Great finish, but as you were saying in commentary, really disappointing, the defending.
Yeah, it was, Rodon was, he prides himself on aggression, and defending. He got caught the wrong side, and then, as Kramaric went through, also Nico Williams is, it's a bit light with the tackle, and then you would say Wardy as well in goal. I think he got done by the outside of the foot, really and truly. So disappointing from that point of view, but Wales have not been poor. It's just they've got a problem getting from that mid-third into that, the opponent's final third and creating chances. The only chance have come really from the free kick, which again was from a pass that was misplaced, and Harry Wilson done well getting his body across the defender and resulted in a free kick. So I think when they're closer to the halfway line, I would like to see them play a few more diagonals. And also, inverted wingers, I understand that, but if you ask anyone what Kiefer Moore's strength is, it's attacking crosses. So, I would try it. I would put Dan on the right and Harry on the left and try and get some early crosses in the box. Him between two defenders, he still stands a good chance again on the end of things. So, they do need to change things up a little, I think. They do need to improve, definitely, in that mid to latter third. But while it's still 1-0, they're still in the game. And as we've seen with the free kick, get one of them, anything can happen. It can result in a goal, you nick a result totally unexpectedly. Yeah,
it would have been nice if that had dipped in, Helen, wouldn't it, that Harry Wilson free kick? He is taking those little shots, as you said, in the absence of Gareth Bale. Do you agree with Nathan there in terms of what you might change? What would you do now if you're Rob Page?
Yeah, I do agree. And I think, as Blakey said, inverted wingers have their place. And yes, they can still get it cut in and put crosses in, but when you do that, you're putting them a lot closer to the goalkeeper, and we've seen that he's confident to come and collect those sorts of crosses. So if you can get down the outside and put something in that's coming away from the goalkeeper, it gives Kiefer more and anyone else that joins in the box a much better chance of getting on the end of it. But something needs to change. There needs to be a bit more thought and a bit more process towards the play in the opposition half, because at the moment the ball retention up there is not good enough.
Helen, thank you for the moment. Nathan, we'll be back with you and Rob Phillips then shortly for second half commentary. Croatia 1, Wales 0, halfway through the opening Euro 2024 qualifier here on BBC Radio Wales, BBC Sounds and 5 Sports Extra. Thank you for your company this evening. Let's just run you through what else is going on in terms of the football and also sport here in Wales today, because it has been a busy day. In Wales's group, by the way, Armenia lost 2-1 at home to Turkey earlier on. The hosts, widely seen as the real outsiders in the group, or certainly one of them, had led 1-0, but Turkey turned it around to get all 3 points. There are 5 teams in the group. Of course, no game for Latvia this weekend, but they face Wales at Cardiff City Stadium on Tuesday night. That's also live on Radio Wales. Elsewhere, Scotland started their qualifying campaign in style, a convincing 3-0 win at home to Cyprus. 2 goals in that for the Manchester United midfielder Scott McTominay. Northern Ireland and England, they play again tomorrow. And just looking around at other results this evening, or other latest scores, Spain are 1-0 up against Norway at half-time. Dani Olmo with the goal for the Spanish. And Wales under-21s, they're in action tomorrow in Spain, actually. They play Scotland in a friendly. So let's round up what has been happening elsewhere today. And as far as domestic football is concerned, obviously no Championship or Premier League during this international break, but Wrexham did have a match in the National League, and it looks like they've taken another step potentially towards the National League title, because they won in front of their Hollywood owners. They beat York City 3-0 at the racecourse, and the former England goalkeeper Ben Foster kept a clean sheet on his second Wrexham debut, having re-signed in the week at the age of 39. And as I was saying, Rob McElhenney and Ryan Reynolds, the Hollywood stars, were there to see it. So Wrexham stay top. And the pressure still on, though, because Notts County beat strugglers Scunthorpe 4-0. Let's hear from the Wrexham boss, Phil Parkinson.
I thought it was a good, solid performance from us against a well-organised, well-drilled team who weren't going to take chances by rolling the ball out the back. They were going to play into the front players and kind of break up the game, which, we've dealt with that before. I thought we kept our cool and handled the situation well and have come away convincing winners.
Ben Foster's returned to the club, and he played an important part, actually. You could see his influence in the way that he made good decisions, did he, at tight times? Yeah,
it was always kind of a big call to whether to play him today, because obviously he hasn't played for so long. He came in Thursday, trained really well. We then assessed him Friday in terms of how his body felt, and he was absolutely 100% adamant he was ready. And he was great on Friday, and what a great day for us. And I think that's the big thing of the day, that Ben's come through the game, because there's always that worry when a goalkeeper hasn't kicked a lot of balls for 9 months that he might just tweak a thigh or a hamstring. But he's come through it, in terrific fashion, and I thought he was excellent.
That is Phil Parkinson, the Wrexham boss, with our reporter Bryn Law there. So another pretty perfect day at the racecourse for Wrexham, and they are still 3 points in front of Notts County at the top of the National League. 97 points now from 39 games. Notts County have played a game more, so they've got 94 points from 40 matches. So Wrexham closing in on the 100-point mark. In terms of the Cymru Premier today, in the Championship group, Pen y Bont keeping up their quest to chase down Connah's Quay in the race for second. They drew 2-2 with Bala Town, so they're 4 points now behind Connah's Quay. The champions, the New Saints, thrashing Cardiff Met by 7-1 at home today. In the relegation group, Aberystwyth beat Flint Town by a goal to nil, and Pontypridd claiming a comfortable win at winless Airbus. 3-0 was their victory there, and it was 2-2 between Haverfordwest County and Carnarvon Town. And the champagne flowing at Jenner Park in Barry. Of course, one of the dominant forces of Welsh domestic football at one point for so many years. They were relegated from the Cymru Premier last season, but it looks like they are on their way back. Barry Town United securing top spot in the Cymru South with a 5-0 win over Pontardawe Town, so they will be champions. Let's talk about the rugby and what was a fantastic start to the Six Nations for Wales women. They thrashed Ireland 31-5 at Cardiff Arms Park. They had secured the bonus points within 33 minutes. Alex Callender, Ciara Bevan, Sinead Harris and Captain Hannah Jones all crossing before half-time. There was a second-half score for player of the match, Cecilia Teopulutu, to complete the route, and she told Lauren Jenkins it was an indescribable feeling.
There's no words that can explain how I'm feeling right now. I'm just grateful for the team that I have, for my family and friends, for always supporting me on the field and off the field.
It took me through that transition then, from lock to tight head. How much are you enjoying it?
It's always a tough process, transition from position to another position. But with the coaches that I have and the support that I have, I'm grateful that I'm enjoying it more and more now as I get to play.
Yeah, she enjoyed the day, and the Arms Park crowd certainly enjoyed seeing that comprehensive Wales win. Elsewhere, England's big win of their own. They beat Scotland 58-7. In terms of the United Rugby Championship, the West versus East derby went the way of the Ospreys. They beat the Dragons 37-18 at the Swansea.com Stadium. Comfortable winners there. They were dominant even before a red card for Dragons centre Co Tompkinson early in the second half. It means the Ospreys keep up the pressure on Cardiff in the race for the Welsh Shield, whilst Dragons have now lost their last 9 league matches. And the other thing, really, Alan Wynne-Jones looked as if he was saying goodbye to the Ospreys fans when he was subbed in their final home game of the season. He is 38 in September, so lots of question marks, of course, about his future, not only with the Ospreys, but with Wales as well. The Ospreys head coach, Toby Booth, says it will be down to Jones to decide if he wants to stay.
Everyone was probably making their own assumptions about Al, and he was very, very good today, I thought. And if that ends up to be his last game, he's certainly signed off the Swansea.com with style, because I thought he was outstanding today.
Are you hopeful Alan Wynne will be playing for you next season?
That's a decision more for him than for us, and we'll get to that. As you can imagine, contract cycles are very, very sensitive stuff at the moment, and people's careers, but respectfully, that'll be a decision for him.
So watch this space as far as Alan Wynne-Jones is concerned. What about the Scarlets? Well, they got a win today over the Sharks, the South African side. A famous win, really, against quite a strong Sharks side, incidentally. Wing Steph Evans scoring 2 tries, while Wales fly-half Sam Costello kicked 22 points, including 6 penalties. They still mathematically got a chance of pipping Cardiff and Ospreys to finish 5th as the highest Welsh region in the URC, and therefore achieve Heineken Champions Cup qualification for next year. But they are going to have to win their final 2 matches against Glasgow and Dragons, and also hope that other results go their way. Now, tomorrow, of course, it is a big day, D-Day, really, for Welsh rugby. It is the EGM in Port Talbot, this extraordinary general meeting that is taking place as a result of the controversies and the scandals that's hit the Welsh Rugby Union over the last few months. 282 member clubs are going to vote to propose changes to the governance at the WRU, which has been brought about by those series of scandals. The union needs 75% of the vote to pass for the changes to go through. They have failed to succeed in similar proposals twice before. That's a roundup of all of the main sports stories here in Wales. Then you are with BBC Radio Wales, BBC Sounds and 5 Sports Extra. The teams are back out on the field in Split for the second half, where Croatia lead Wales by a 1-0 in the opening Euro 2024 qualifier. We knew it was going to be difficult. Can Wales get back in it, though? They are in it. Just a goal in it. Let's find out. Let's rejoin your commentary team, the former Wales strikers Helen Ward and Nathan Blake, alongside Rob Phillips.
Yes, perfect timing. The Croatian fans have their scarves above their heads, some with white scarves, some with blue scarves, all put on their seats before we all got here, and they are serenading their side, who lead by a goal to nil. Andrej Kramaric, the Hoffenheim player, as Wales kick off, looking for something to lift the spirits, I think. One or two damning verdicts on Twitter at half-time about the Wales performance.
Go on.
Just saying it looks a different game when Croatia played, but I suspect we knew that. And
yeah, I mean, there's a prime example. Little flick on by Kiefer. He looks at, who is it? Dan James on the left.
Yeah.
They look at each other and they're just not on the same page.
No. But it is still only 1-0.
Absolutely.
Which is why the next few minutes, as Perisic attacks Connor Roberts, little step over into the penalty area. That was a vital interception as Joe Morrell, who's done all right, I think.
Yeah, he's
the Portsmouth player.
Yeah, he's done well in that central midfield. Difficult place to play as well, Rob. Up against, as we say, 3 world-class players. He's not looked out of place.
No. Golden clears long.
I think with players like Joe, it's
now ball over the top. Down the left side is James. Ramsey found him. Wilson's steaming into the penalty area. James floats in the cross, and beyond everybody, even Connor Roberts, who's fleet-footed, the Burnley right back, was never going to get to that, and the ball drifts out for a goal kick. Helen Ward, that's the sort of opportunity Wales have to make more of.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was saying before half-time, whereby he cuts in and it's a difficult ball to play. It has to be very accurate for an inverted cross to be effective. If you're hitting it as an outswinger, then it's got a lot more chance of A, staying away from the goalkeeper, and B, staying in play. It's a difficult ball to play, especially when the only targets in there are really Harry Wilson and Connor Roberts joining late. It's a difficult ball to play, but you know, that's the sort of ball in the first place, you know, over the top to Dan James, that's going to cause some problems. But I'm still with Blakey. I think that the wingers need to swap sides.
So in that situation, sorry Rob, in that situation, he's so quick and he's ahead of the game. As soon as he cuts inside and swings the cross in, you know, you do well to keep up with him. You do really well to get up and get on level terms with him. So, you know,
just keep going.
You may as well, you know, one-on-one attack the defender.
He looks like a player who's not playing regularly for his club, doesn't he, Dan James, on the evidence so far? But he does have that searing pace that can cause problems. He's on the ball again. Moore touches it to Williams, who's driving down the left. It finds James. Williams is on the overlap. Awkward ball for him to deal with. And he's won it back on the byline. Goes to ground. No foul, says the referee, who's right there.
There's a bit of a slip. We've seen a few players slip.
Rather, yeah. Look at the teams in a moment, but Wales have started this second half a little bit more positively. Wilson now drives down the middle, brought down by Kovacic. Was in no.
Yeah.
No foul again, says the referee. Wilson complains, just to add insult to his not exactly an injury.
Yeah, just watching that situation unfold there. You lose the ball, the counter attack is on. And yeah, I can see Pagey arguing with Connor Roberts, because, you know, they're supposed also remonstrating with the referee, but Connor's making the run forward. They lose the ball. As he's tracking back, he's calling to his centre half. You should be a cross in the space. You know, Mepham should be a cross, half covering that, just in case. But, you know, him and Joe are just steadfast in that central position. Just little things, Rob, which end up costing you.
Yeah, absolutely. 1-0 Wales trail. They've got Ward in goal. Roberts, Mepham, Roden and Williams across the back. Ampadu and Morrell, the two holding players in front of them. Wilson, Ramsey the captain, and James, and more up front as the ball is floated into the Wales penalty area. It's only half-cleared chance here, and Kovacic has put the ball over the top from 7 yards.
That's
and
one
he
of
looks
them.
crestfallen.
No, it's one of them, Robbie. You've already scored in your mind before you've hit it. Don't start thinking you've scored before you've actually heard the ripple of the net. It's an old adage in football. Listen to the ripple of that net. He was halfway, getting ready to celebrate there. It's a great opportunity.
Well, as you expect a player of his quality, Helen Ward, to put that away.
Yes, Rob, you would.
Yeah, you would.
I'm with you.
And that looked like a foul on Moore. I think the referee has played advantage as Zampadu's picked up possession in the centre circle. Williams just inside his own half goes to Roden, who plays for Rennes now in Ligue 1. 2 Welsh players in Ligue 1, of course. Aaron Ramsey helping to inspire a Nice revival. He was the target of that ball fought by James, didn't reach him. But it is going to be a Wales free kick on that left side. Wales playing all in white from left to right. It's going to be a throw-in, which Williams takes. Back to Roden, just inside his own half. And Croatia all in black with a blue flash on their left shoulders. Nepham under pressure but finds Roberts. Morel, first time ball up to Wilson. Wilson back to Roberts, tight on this near touch line. And there's a Croatia player down in the centre circle. So players stopped, and Rob Page has a quick word with Joe Morel. Helen Ward, what do you think Rob Page has said to this Wales side at half-time?
I think be braver. They're looking to go forward a little bit quicker now, but I think maybe he just gave them a little kick up the backside, that the game, it's not there for the taking. Of course, it's not against a side like this, but because you're still in it, have a little bit more belief in yourself in possession, because they've come out with a lot more energy and a lot more. It looks like they're wanting to go forward a lot more, which is obviously a good sign for Wales, but still need that quality in the final third that's been lacking. But it's certainly been a brighter start so far, apart from obviously the chance that Kovacic missed, which he should have scored. That was a let-off, but it has been a bit brighter in possession at least.
Now, Croatia going to be forced into a change, or is Juranovic going to go back on Nathan Blake?
I don't see anyone warming up, Rob, so I think he's probably going to go back on.
Hang on, yes,
I think he signals.
No, he's coming on,
he's struggling.
There is a change. And so on comes Peter Musa, wearing 17. He plays for Benfica, and this will be his Croatia bow. Moved from Slavia Prague in May. He's called up for games in the Nations League, but he makes his debut now. So the first change of either side is forced on Croatia, and he's gone up front. Long throw from Roberts, looking for more. Dealt with though by Guardiola. Wales win the second header thanks to Morel, and then a good ball by Amadou to Moore. He's rushed off it. Roden hoists it forward from halfway. There's a little bit more desire from these Wales players after the break. I think Helen Ward is right.
Yeah,
I think Rob Page has delivered the old-fashioned.
Well, in the game, Rob.
Yeah.
A bit more belief, a bit more desire, and they can get themselves. Like I said earlier, Rob, before the game, performance is important also. Win, lose or draw.
They're trailing 1-0 on Radio Wales Sport and 5 Sport Extra. Euro 2024 qualification.
You'd say they're trailing 1-0, Rob, without playing nowhere near their best.
Yeah, absolutely. Roberts has an awful lot to do to get to that. Brilliant play by Modric.
Yeah, sure.
Put Roberts to jump and put it under his legs.
Yeah.
But Connor Roberts has won it back on halfway. The Crynant Cafu, as they call him in the Swansea area. Crynant being an area of Swansea. Alien to Nathan Blake.
I know Swansea.
All right.
Yeah.
Former Cardiff striker, of course.
I don't frequent there, but I know Swansea.
Long ball forward, looking for Aaron Ramsey. Didn't get there the first time. Made his presence known the second time, and it's a hurried clearance by Livakovic.
Although I do go to Swansea. golf.
I'm glad to hear.
Pennard, you know. Nice round there, fantastic place.
10 minutes into the second half. Wales are trailing 1-0 in this opening game in their group. 2, of course, qualify from the group, and we won't go into it now, but there is a playoff as well. Wales is, the fact that they're in the Group A of the Nations League means they've got a chance of getting into the playoffs no matter what happens. But it's far too early down the road for that. This is Kovacic, who's missed a chance to put this game almost out of sight of Wales, you would say, if they get a second goal. Coming forward again, though, Croatia. Brozovic, Kovacic, Brozovic on an angled run. Out to Sosa on the near side. They're here, and a turn-up goal by Perisic. Just angled the ball off his left foot, swiveled around easily into the hands of Danny Ward.
He's done well, Brozovic, tonight. Seen him just shadow in front of Kiefer more often when the ball's in play.
Yeah.
It's a really good job for them.
They are a formidable midfield unit, aren't they? They've got a bit of everything.
They've got everything. I think the only thing they could probably do with going forward in future as these players age, Rob, players like Perisic, is that pace. They don't have that Perisic pace he used to have when he was younger.
Showing a clean pair of heels to Modric. Puts the ball inside of Ramsey, just inside his own half. Puts it into his own half then, and Mepham strides forward. A little bit more adventure about Wales in this second half. Roberts down the right-hand side. Wilson was short, goes back to Mepham. Now Morel. Round the corner ball by Ramsey. Comes back out to Wales though. Fed forward, and it's too strong for Connor Roberts. Helen Ward, 11 minutes gone in the second half. Wales trailing 1-0, but showing a little bit more adventure.
They are, and even Chris Mepham there stepping forward over the halfway line with the ball, looking a little bit more comfortable with it. Again, Ramsey, trying to play first time round the corner, doesn't quite come off, but we're a bit closer to second balls now to try and, the pass didn't come off to Connor Roberts, but they're closer and they're putting a lot more pressure. It's not so easy for Croatia to get out, even when passes are misplaced. So it's certainly a lot more front foot from Wales this half.
Good pressure by Kiefer Moore then, as the ball rebounded off the foot of Guardiol for a throw-in, level with the penalty spot in the Croatia penalty area. Roberts of Burnley with the long throw, looking for more. It's a sharp handball by some of the Wales players. The referee says nothing doing. Showed it with his gesture, Mr. Pinheiro from Portugal. And Wales build again from their own penalty area with Mepham. Strides a few yards forward, up to Moore. Again, good ball by Moore out to this right-hand side, but Sousa's quick enough to get there ahead of Connor Roberts. But that is better, as Nathan Blake just said. Only another Roberts throw from just a little bit further out. White shirts ambling towards that penalty area. The red wall watching attentively. It's their end now, as Roberts has a long throw again, looking for more. Bounces off Perisic, almost out for a corner until it's hooked away. Williams will pick it up for Wales. This is probably their best spell of the game so far.
Yeah,
Nathan Blake.
It is, Rob. A little bit of sustained pressure.
And then they give the ball away. This time it's Mepham to Perisic. Modric again, wearing the captain's armband.
Effectively, those two centre-halves for Wales are 2v1, so one of them can step in from time to time. Not all the time, but they can step in and start play.
Oh, well, there's a collector's item. Modric has just given the ball away. Luka Modric has given a loose pass. What's the time? 14 minutes into the second half. What's the date? March the 25th. Write that down.
There's a stat for you in your
many moons to come.
In your later, in
we
your
saw
elder
Luka
days.
Modric give the ball away.
Yeah.
Cleared again by Ward onto the head of Kiefer Moore.
Far more effective playing up the Moore. I seem to have a better understanding.
A bit more direct.
Well, not just direct, Rob, but you know, like when you are carrying the ball out the midfield, if you're a defender, you know who you're looking for, when to make the movement.
Wilson bursts forward down this right-hand side. He's shoved off it. No foul, says the referee, but Ramsey picks it up near side, back to Wilson, edge of the penalty area, curls a crossover, chance here for Wales, and it's driven wide. Dan James. Wilson set it up on a plate for Dan James, coming in from the left-hand side, and he totally missed the target.
It's actually great play by Wales, I have to say. Harry Wilson cuts through midfield, opens his legs. It isn't a foul. The ball's recycled, picked up. Harry Wilson picks up again, and I'm thinking he's just going to bend it, and he doesn't. He just puts a lovely flat diag in and just tempts Dan James, who could have taken a touch from me and planted it, but decided to take the volley on, which is a more difficult skill, and just didn't catch it right. Hit into the ground first, but good play by Wales. Should give them a bit of confidence, or a bit more confidence, because they've played well this second half.
Throw in taken quickly down the left-hand side. Ramsey is there at the byline. Can he get the crossover? Goes back. Williams, he does cross into the penalty box, into the 6-yard box actually. It's collected by Livakovic, the Croatian goalkeeper. Under pressure that time from Connor Roberts.
Yeah, it was a bit of a stray arm, a late one, an unnecessary one, that. Silly, because if he catches him in the face, he could see yellow or even worse.
Well, 60 minutes into the second half on Radio Well Sport and 5 Sport Extra. Signs that Wales haven't given up on this one. Trailing 1-0. And looks like a triple substitution by Robert Page in the offing. Clearance by Livakovic again. Roden wins the touch in midfield. Wales are definitely winning the 50-50s now. They've done so again with Ramsey on that far side, and then that loose ball. So what's going to happen here, Nathan Blake?
I'm not sure whether they're going to go wide or midfield, central mid. Not sure. Because Wales are they're probably playing their best football, Rob. So I'm a little surprised.
Sorba Thomas is one of those coming on. Wes Burns of Ipswich. And it looks like a debut for Nathan Broadhead, who's also scoring goals at Ipswich. Wilson now plays the ball over the top, looking for the striding Moore. Guardiol, clever, looked as if he'd hit the ball too far, but as it went towards the touchline, just turned his foot around it and knocked on into the shin of the charging Kiefer Moore. So, wow, Aaron Ramsey, the captain, making way. Didn't see that happening. So he's going to be replaced by Wes Burns. Oh, sorry. Ramsey goes. And it's Harry Wilson going off as well. And Dan James. And it's Nathan Broadhead, Wes Burns. So Nathan Broadhead, big day for him, his Wales debut, and Sorba Thomas on there as well. Nathan Blake,
well, it's well, like I said, I think it's a little premature. I mean, if they go and get back in the game, then it's a genius stroke from Rob. But if they end up losing it, I mean, if it stays like it is, then no problem. But if they end up losing it by a few and lose momentum, and you will question that.
Yeah, they will. It's a brave decision to take off your captain. Helen Ward, talk me through it.
Yeah, very brave. I don't think that Ramsey's carrying any sort of injury. Didn't look like he was. Perhaps it's with a view of Tuesday in mind. But as Blakey said, it seems a bit early to do that when they had built some momentum, and Ramsey was, he was drifting across that sort of area between the midfield and the Croatia back line, and he was finding little bits of space and getting on the ball. So a strange one. I'm sure there's reason behind it. The other two substitutions perhaps make a little bit more sense, but I'm very surprised to see Rambo come off.
Yeah, I'm astonished, if I'm honest, with Wilson and James, when I thought Wilson was starting to make some impression as well.
They started the second half well, Rob, and they probably had, not as much as the ball, but far more possession and looked far more dangerous. They've had their best moment with that volley from James with the crossfield pass from Wilson. So a little surprised, shall we say, but hey, Rob's the manager and he'll know why.
Here's Perisic left side into the penalty area. Shot took a deflection and goes out for a corner. On the far side it was Musa, the substitute, who got there. That will be Croatia's first corner. Luka Modric getting a massive ovation as he goes across to that right-hand side to take this corner with his side leading 1-0. Incidentally, Ramsey handed the captain's armband to Ethan Ampadu on his 41st cap. Sign of the things to come, I suspect, in the future. Ball has been moved back to Modric, who floats the cross into the Wales penalty area. A bit of confusion. It's cleared away, and there's a flag up anyway. I suppose the one thing it does is add a bit more pace in the midfield now. Broadhead looks as if he's going to play off Kiefer Moore, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So Thomas has come up onto the right-hand side now.
Sort of gone similar to that system in the World Cup, the 4-2-4. Just for me, just don't like seeing that extra man with Aaron Ramsey in there. I think he's running a bit of a risk leaving two men in midfield. I know they're two sitters, no problem with that, but pushing that extra man up a bit higher just exposes them, leaves them more 2v2. Let's see how it unfolds, Rob.
And what I would say, Helen, is that we'll come over to you in a moment, but Aaron Ramsey was Rob Page was saying last night he did have to bear in mind that a lot of these players are not playing regularly for their clubs, and he would have to bear in mind Tuesday night's game with Latvia, but seems early to think about that when it's only 1-0 and we're midway through the second half. Kovacic across the halfway line to Modric. Precise ball out to that right-hand side. It's kept in on that far side as well. And Wales have dealt with it initially, but comes back to Modric. And Sosa was across there. Now Brozovic wide. Kovacic. It's not easy for this Wales side. They're chasing the ball again. And they had a few minutes of pretty considered possession. Kovacic thought about striking from distance, but decided against a lovely turn by Broadhead in mid, just outside his own penalty area. He then loses possession, trying to win it back now. Off Shutalo. Ball back to Livakovic. Header loose is picked up by Nico Williams. Drives forward. Infield. Was stumbling as he was running then and ran into traffic, Nathan Blake.
Yeah. Just set the other counter.
Perisic now runs at Roberts down the left-hand side. Back to Kovacic. Modric appears. Great tackle by Ampadu. And then Moore is bundled over, and Wales win a free kick 10 yards inside their own half. Helen Ward, thoughts?
Yeah, it's an interesting set of changes, as we've spoken about. and I understand where Rob Page is coming from in terms of needing to bear in mind minutes and things, but Ramsey's been playing, so that doesn't seem to make too much sense, especially in the past when we've seen Ramsey playing a lot longer than sort of 60 minutes with a lot less club football in his legs. So interesting one. Harry Wilson, Dan James is a bit more, as I said, that makes a little bit more sense if you're going on minutes played, but yeah, still perplexed by the Ramsey one. But as Blakey said, if it works and we get back into the game, then it's a stroke of genius.
Well, another change as well. Tom Bradshaw makes his international return. The Millwall striker, 5 years after he last appeared for Wales, he's on for Kiefer Moore. Calls himself an old-fashioned centre forward. Loves to get in the box and score goals. Here's Thomas and Broadhead trying to engineer a way into the Croatia penalty area. Ball arrived there, they didn't. He's really thrown the dice up in the air, hasn't he, Nick?
Yeah, he has, and it's we've lost our momentum, Rob, which is always going to be the worry. But like, I understand in the sense that you are trying to blood some of these youngsters and get them used to international football, but also I think, you know, if you're 2 or 3-0 down, I would understand it more. But, you know, 60 odd minutes on the clock and, you know, still in the game, so to speak, and, you know, it's like you say, it's a big roll of the dice.
This is Modric again. Into the last 20 minutes. Callum Lawn rings out from the red wall. Sosa cross into the box. First time shot is put over the top by Kramaric, who scored the only goal so far on Radio Well Sport on 5 Sport Extra. It's got a bit chillier in Split, which is a lovely city on the Adriatic.
So you feel the cold more as you get older?
Oh, well, yeah, you do. Actually, they play a game in Split, which is almost sort of sold to them. Pitchagin was created in Split. They got a World Championships and all that, and it's like volleyball, but in shallow water.
Well, they've certainly got the climate and the beach and the water and the palm trees for it, Rob.
So we might not learn too much about Wales tonight as a footballing nation, but you've learned a little bit about Split. It's 1-0 to Croatia, who have never lost a European qualifier at home, which is an astonishing record. And in 2018, when they reached the World Cup final, they were the smallest country since Uruguay to make a final.
Yeah, brilliant, isn't it? It'll all be in the coaching and everything, Rob, right from, you know, 10, 11-year-olds, possibly even younger, all the way up. It's all about a system, a strategy.
But they're defending a Wales throw-in, which Connor Roberts is going to take from the right side. Long throw into the box, no keeper more to aim for now. It's headed away, the second attempt. Makes it up, here's shot! Which is pushed over the top. It was Nico Williams, right-footed. Actually, it wasn't pushed over the top, just went over the top of the crossbar.
Yeah, it was just a bit high. In fairness to Nico, he's caught it well, but he's moving backwards as he hits that. So he's done well to, you know, make that much of it. Decent technique.
Helen Ward, at least again, half a scare, shall we say?
It is, and yeah, I mean, the chances or half chances are coming from a long throw. In the first half, we didn't really even get up the pitch enough to get throw-ins in those areas. So it's progress, and there's more bodies up and around the front line now. And it is, you know, as Blakey said, we did lose a bit of momentum. But the substitutes that have come on, they're slowly growing into the game, finding their feet, and you know, there's all to play for, which is quite nice for a sub to come on in a game when it's not dead. You know, one way or the other, it's quite nice to come on and think you can make a difference, and these players look up for it, and hopefully it doesn't come back to bite me as they attack now.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can't have it always, can you? You can't say, well, it's time the old guard went, and then you quibble when the new regime sort of goes for new faces or relatively inexperienced faces. The only way they get experience is playing in a game like this.
Exactly, and I think it's almost a free hit, isn't it, this game? Because we're not expected to get any sort of result, regardless of the team that's out there or the experience. So why not give these younger players and the less experienced players the chance to come up against some of the best in the world, and certainly one of the best teams in the world. So why not give them that chance, see what they can do? And if it stays like this, it's going to give them confidence. I'm not saying it's going to, there's still a little while to go yet, but I think it's a brave move, it's a bold move, but as you said, you can't have it both ways, and Rob Page has given it a go tonight, and you can't deny that, whatever happens from here on out.
No, you're right, a couple of substitutions in the offing for Croatia. Mario Pasalic of Atalanta and Nikola Vlasic of Torino, as Perisic taunts Wales down the near side. Kovacic plays a 1-2 in the Wales box, but he's not going to catch the second ball. Overhit it, and it's going to be a goal kick, but not before Croatia withdraw. So it's going to be Nikola Vlasic and Mario Pasalic who are coming on, and Andrej Kramaric, who scored the goal which separates the sides, and Mateo Kovacic of Chelsea are making way for the substitutes. Kramaric at the moment has got his side off to a confident start in Euro 2024 qualifying.
Yeah, I'm sure he'd love another goal. As well, it's 1-0, Rob. And I think we spoke about it before the game. Don't want to take anything for granted. But Wales, while it's 1-0, they're still in this game.
They're still, and if they were to get a goal, it would be a famous draw. But they're going to hold up at the other end as well.
And a huge confidence boost.
It would be, yeah. It's a strange old game, isn't it? That they've been second best throughout, but they might still go away with a famous result. Having the battle for possession in their own left-back position at the moment. And Tom Bradshaw thought he was fouled then, but referee unimpressed again. He's let the game flow, I will say that. Sosa tries to play in. The ball down the left-hand side to Perisic. Conor Roberts stretched the boot, lunged in. It's gone up for a corner on the near side, the Croatia left. Huge ovation for Luka Modric. Again, the Croatia captain, the first man to play in World Cup and European finals in 3 different decades. Going to take this corner from the left-hand side, right-footed. It's beyond the far post, it's headed back across by Guardiola, and up for another corner. It's an amazing statistic, isn't it, that?
Incredible, Rob. Incredible.
He's just won 21 trophies at Real Madrid, including 5 Champions Leagues, like his best mate, Gareth Bale.
Well, you look at him, look what he's won. He's been given the sort of the freedom of the city or the freedom of the country, and Croatia also.
I was actually in Serbia last week, and I said to a Croat there, I said, who's the most famous Croatian that you've ever, who's the most famous person from your country? And he went, Luka Modric.
Yeah, by far.
Honourable mention of Goran Ivanisevic. Corner from the right this time. Even Amadou went flying, but it's going to be a Croatia throw on the left side, which Perisic of Tottenham Hotspur wants to take. Does so. Sosa goes back to halfway. Brings in Schutalo.
They almost seem to be in a position where they don't want to push it too hard.
They settle for 1-0.
Yeah, they seem to have. They don't want to push too hard. And once they're in possession, if you haven't got the ball, you can't score. So if the second goal comes, they'll take it, obviously, but they're not overexerting themselves to get there.
And they have to go to Turkey on Tuesday.
Yeah, which will be a difficult game.
I would say they're an aging side. Somebody worked out that it was the average age of the two sides is only 25 and 27. There's not that much difference between the two starting lineups as there was. Modric, that's a lovely ball in behind the Wales defence, and Roden have to scamper back to knock the ball up for a corner. Helen Ward, do you think Croatia have settled for one as they prepare to take another corner?
I don't know if they've settled for it, but they don't seem to be going quite as aggressively as you might expect. They're very comfortable in possession again. They're having a good spell on the ball, but they're not overexerting themselves, should I say. But I wouldn't be surprised to see them turn it on one more time in the 10 minutes before the end of the game to try and get that second.
Modric corner is dealt with, collected by Danny Ward, who looks to his left, kicks out of hand on the edge of the box, looking for... It's Broadhead out there. And Wales have possession again. Look, Bradshaw holds off his marker, lays it back inside. Sorba Thomas goes to ground, holds his hands out, saying, why isn't that a free kick? But again, the referee has been pretty laissez-faire, you have to say.
Yeah, he has. He's had a good game, fair play to him.
I don't know what Portuguese is for laissez-faire, but I think he gets my drift. And it's 1-0 to Croatia, and we're into the last 10 minutes. And providing Wales don't collapse, and they won't mind that as the ball is floated into the box and collected by Ward, providing they don't collapse. It's not exactly an honourable result, but it could have been a lot worse. Ball is...
Yeah, I understand your point, Rob, but you know, when you're looking to rebuild, okay, these performances come along, but I do think Wales can do slightly better, especially from an offensive point of view.
Yeah.
Don't just sit and be happy to get beat. You know, he came out second half, give a good account of themselves.
Perisic first one. Wow, that was astonishing. A shot from about 2 yards from the byline, and it knocked the front of the crossbar and bounces away on the far side.
Van Basten-esque.
That was, wasn't it?
Fantastic strike.
Would you have fancied your luck from that angle, Helen Ward?
I've seen Helen Foot score from there.
Not on my left foot, not a chance. that was strange. They've just seen a replay. The way the ball moved there, it's an unbelievable hit. Danny Ward had absolutely no chance. It's almost like everybody stood still. Ridiculous effort at goal, but thankfully came off the crossbar.
Danny Ward, who's been beaten by Andrej Kramaric's first half goal. And Croatia seemingly happy to hold on to a 1-0 when they've lost just one of their last 13 games. And they're just serial qualifiers for major tournaments, and they do well. No wonder Zlatko Dalic, their coach, has been given an extended contract until the World Cup in 2026 as the ball jumps out for a goal kick.
The frame broke, Rob. And try and fix it.
Well, they qualified for all but one World Cup and one European Championship since their first as an independent nation in 1996.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's incredible.
Terrific, isn't it?
An incredible record. What it does show is, like we spoke before, they clearly don't take anything for granted. You'd say someone like Italy, you know, fantastic in the Euros, win it, and then probably thought, yeah, we'll qualify for the World Cup. But what this country does, what these players do, is they constantly go at it. You know, don't take anything for granted.
It's still 1-0, and it's 6 minutes to go. Roberts slides it up to Thomas. He lost it though, he can't do that. Sorba Thomas now at Blackburn. Modric on the ball, 15 yards inside the Wales half. Hit a 1-2 with Brozovic. Lasic shoots him just outside the box and collected by Danny Ward. He's from a talented family, is Nikola Vlasic. His sister, Blanca, was a 4-time world high jump champion.
Was she?
Yeah, she was, yeah. His dad was
Some
a
record,
decathlon as well.
Okay.
I could tell you're impressed.
Oh, way impressed. You know, I like my athletics, Rob.
1-0 to Croatia, and 5 minutes to go. Is there a hero in this Wales lineup? Sorba Thomas, socks down by his ankles.
Few minutes after the match. For security reasons, you'll be held a few moments and then
centre circle. Looks for an advanced Connor Roberts. Little header around the corner by Roberts. Looking for Broadhead. Forces Gvario to put the ball up for a Wales throw-in. What a roar there would be from our right if Wales were to get an equaliser here.
Good voice. The red wall, I have to say.
Roberts takes the throw. Short to Morel. Oh, it's a poor pass from Morel.
That is a poor pass.
Gave Roberts far too much to do, but he's won another throw-in.
Yeah. And that's one of the points a lot of people say to me about Joe Morel. Very good stopping the ball. It's when you're asking him to play forward.
This is almost a yard away from the corner flag, right-hand side. Roberts takes a little run. Gets towards the edge of the 6-yard box, not cleared by the Croatia defence, but a head tennis being played. It will be cleared now, and the break is on. This is maybe what they've waited for. The white shirts are streaming back. It's a lovely ball forward, but Ampadu just gets there in the nick of time as Pasalic of Atalanta was racing to break through.
It's actually a fantastic touch by Pasalic that gave the defender also more opportunity to get around on the cover. It's brilliant from Ethan Ampadu.
Was Modric again as Croatia look to put the icing on this opening qualifying cake, leading 1-0. But while it is only one, there's always a chance. Sosa forward down this left-hand side, is flowing blonde hair behind him. 1 or 2 are leaving early in front of us. And Modric is on the ball, 10 yards from the Wales penalty area. Cross into from the Croatian left. Wales have dealt with that. They hold on to the ball again. Williams slips once more, passes slightly behind him from Ampadu. Chance for Croatia to turn the screw once more. Although Modric is literally at walking pace now.
Yeah, the whole game is from their point of view, Rob. Just game management now.
2 minutes to go. There'll be a party and split tonight. I don't think you'll stop the red ball revelling as well, despite the result. Because I suspect many thought it might be a wider margin than this. You can never be happy with a defeat, but there are ways of losing, Nathan Blake.
Yeah, if I have to say, if I'm totally honest, I'm just a little bit disappointed that when we had the momentum, and probably at our best, the changes happened and kind of messed our flow up a bit. And let that go for another 5-10 minutes and see what happens, and then make the changes, maybe 70-75. But hey, I'm not the manager.
Helen Ward, what are you thinking?
It's been okay. Nobody's sort of stood out one way or another, good or bad. It's just a little underwhelming at times without being a terrible performance. I think after the World Cup and the lows of some of the performances in that, I think there's been a bit more energy about the team today, which is a positive, you know, particularly at the start of that second half. But still, there's work to do in possession for sure. But the most disappointing thing is, yes, it's only 1-0, but the manner of that goal, that it could have been avoided and we could be talking about a different scoreline right now. But that's not to say Croatia wouldn't have turned the screw a little bit more had they not got that early goal, or the goal earlier on, sorry. But it is, if it does finish 1-0, the manner of that goal will be the most disappointing thing for Rob Page and the team.
Yeah, well, Modric has just won a free kick. Little bit of a distance out to have a go, I would say.
You wouldn't say.
Well, no, okay. I would say it hesitantly if I said it.
Yeah, I mean, stranger things have happened, but I'd be surprised to see him shooting from there, Rob. 89, 90 minutes on the clock.
He might even just take it short of Brozovic.
Yeah, I'd just like to see us, a few more attacking patterns and shapes when we're going forward. A bit braver.
We're about to see how long the fourth official. It's 3 minutes of added time to play. As Modric does take it short to Brozovic. Modric pulls wide on the right-hand side, thinks about crossing. It will come in from that right side now. It's a decent cross as well, but Metham gets his head to it. And then Perisic on the volley. Didn't really get too much meat behind that. And it's collected by Ward as Jordan James is about to make his Wales debut, the Birmingham City midfield player. Ampadu strides forward. Is there a last gasp equaliser in this for Wales? It would transform the night for them if they were to get a goal back. They're trailing 1-0. We're into injury time. They've not offered too much going forward, you'd have to say. So over Thomas, little flick around the corner again. They win a throw-in. Robert says, leave this to me. It's going in long. Jordan James replaces Joe Morrell, so a debut for Jordan James from Birmingham City. And wait for this applause, Luka Modric is going to make his way off early, the Croatia captain, and he will be replaced by Lovro Mayer, who's a teammate of Joe Rodon at Rennes. There we are, there's the applause for Luka Modric, another masterclass from him. Hasn't had to do too much, you have to say, for everything he's done, apart from one pass. It's been real quality.
Yeah, he's been quality again, hasn't he, Rob? Just makes the game look so easy, effortless.
I think they're just relieved he hasn't retired it. So, long throw from Connor Roberts into the penalty area again. Oh, there's a chance here! And it's in! Wales have got the equaliser! Would you believe it? In injury time, they've transformed the night in Split. It was a long throw. It was headed on, and it was turned into the net. The Wales coaching staff and substitutes can hardly believe it. It's 1-1, and I can't believe my eyes. It's Nathan Broadhead on his debut.
At the fast stick, Rob. That's what we're saying. Whilst you're in the game at 1-0, an absolutely unbelievable moment for young Nathan. Brilliant, long throw. We've tried it so many times, probably 7 or 8 times in this game. Hasn't worked out. Final minute, the clock goes up 3 minutes, probably a minute into injury time. A little flick on, fast stick, Broadbent in at the fast stick. Broadhead, sorry, in at the fast stick with a simple tap in from 2 or 3 yards. Absolutely outrageous, but what a result. What a result for these players.
Now, how long left? We'll get Helen Ward's view in a moment. But Nathan Broadhead, former Everton player, may well have just written himself into Welsh folklore here in Split. Croatia come back at Wales. Can they clear it? Oh, it hasn't been cleared. And then the shot goes into the hands of Danny Ward, who smothers the ball. It's extraordinary. The Red Wall are still
believe it.
celebrating. It's going to be a long, long night in Split tonight, I think. So Ward bounces the ball a few times. Referee has the whistle in his mouth. Is that it? That's the final whistle. No bail, no bother. Step forward, Nathan Broadhead for the last gasp. Injury time equalizer here at the home of the side who won the bronze medal in the World Cup. Split is silent, but elated Red Wall fans to my right. It's an extraordinary result. Wales have been second best throughout tonight, but they always stayed in the game. People question Rob Page, they question his substitutions, but my word, they found a new hero, a super sub, Nathan Broadhead, and Wales have kicked off their Euro 2024 campaign with the sort of result that can transform prospects, because at the toughest place they will go to in this qualifying group, it's finished. Croatia won, Wales won.
Never in doubt, was it? Never in doubt that Wales were going to get something out of that game. Wow, what an extraordinary story. And that's changed the last 20 minutes of the programme, hasn't it? Certainly. Who needs Gareth Bale? Indeed. A man who plays his football for Ipswich Town in League One, rather than one of the most famous footballers in the world, formerly of Real Madrid, who rescues Wales on this occasion. Fantastic night for Nathan Broadhead and his family, and you can see, Helen Ward, just looking at the players now, how different the post-match handshakes have become, and the smiles on faces instead of frowns. They are, well, what a precious point. It's only the third goal they've ever scored in Croatia, but what a point to get when it looks so unlikely.
Yeah, I'm absolutely delighted for all of them, because it was a big brave move by Rob Page to make the substitutions that he did when he did. And yes, you call it lucky, call it what you want, but one of those subs has come up with the moment of magic, and he did really, really well to finish that at the far post. There wasn't a big gap to find. He's gambled that there'd be a flick onto the far post, and he's got his foot on it and finished it brilliantly. And I'm absolutely, as I said, I'm delighted for him, delighted for the team, and I'm really pleased for Rob Page, because there will be questions, or there would have been questions, but that's a big move. It's a massive point, and now it's just up to them to follow that up on Tuesday night, because if they don't do that, then this doesn't count for very much.
You would hope so against Latvia. Let's just bring Nathan Blake and Rob back in, because we're seeing the Wales players over in the corner. They've gone over to the red wall of fans. Nathan, I can imagine those supporters are absolutely overjoyed in the end to see Wales score that goal, and they're all hugging each other, all of those players in that corner.
What do you do after that, Ian? You can't hug yourself after each other after that. Let's be fair. First 45 minutes disappointing. Second 45, well, started the game, the second half well, one or two half chances, and then we're questioning Rob Page. Substitutions is either going to be a genius stroke, or people are going to question why he did it so early. He's throwing them in, trying to get the players, these young players, or these players who have not played many minutes or some no international football, try and get them in, throw them in at the deep end, early doors, and then last 90 seconds of the game, a long throw which they have tried many times before without success, and Broadhead just gambles, what you should do, gambles at the far stick, and like Helen said, squeezed it in from a difficult angle. But listen, I am delighted for him. I am absolutely delighted for him. Listen, we said it's going to be difficult to come here, get a result, but that's football, Ian. That is why we love it, because the strangest things can happen. As soon as the clock went up for 3 minutes extra time, the game is 93 minutes. Right, Wales kept going and going and going, got their reward, 91 and a half minutes, and come away with a point. It's fantastic. I'm so pleased for Pagey, all the staff, all the players, And Nathan Broadhead especially, great name as well.
Well, I've seen some extraordinary things covering Wales, but that is right up there. I mean, you know, yes, we've had the Ukraine, yes, we've qualified for Euros, and this is just 1 point, but just so unexpected. This is why we love football. We love it, we hate it, but we absolutely love it, really, for moments like this. And we're just getting our hands shaken by a Croatian journalist. It's one of those nights, and there are 1,800 Red Wall fans just simply waving. You know, half of them got their shirts off because they're waving them in celebration. That young Wales squad are down there lapping up the applause. What a transformative goal that might be, not just for Nathan Broadhead, but for Wales's prospects and for the thoughts on Rob Page. Because let's face it, you know, people have questioned him leading up to this, following the World Cup, but he's gambled big time with the substitutions, and sometimes, just sometimes, they work out. And how tonight?
Oh, I just want to stay with you guys because it just sounds so exciting there. We will try and bring you any reaction we can before 10 o'clock. Adam Walton coming up on BBC Radio Wales, but there will be plenty on the BBC Sport website and on social media as well, and on Breakfast on Radio Wales on Monday. But, you know, just one shot on target, one effort on target, Helen Ward. That's all Wales had tonight, and they managed to score. I mean, Croatia, you might say, who cares how Croatia are feeling? But, you know, you talked about it during the second half. They were in third gear. I mean, they were just going through the motions and looking like, you know, we think we've got this game won. We'll take a second goal if it comes along. But they were just dinking the ball around like a training exercise, weren't they? They were. And, you know, that's football. You can't afford to do that at 1-0 up. 2-3-0, fair enough. Do what you want. Take the game to as slow a tempo as you want to. But at 1-0 in international football, you know, and against a side like Wales who have form of getting results that they don't necessarily look like they're going to get. We've done it before, and we've done it tonight, and, you know, absolute credit to the players. They've stuck in there, they've kept themselves in the game. Yes, they've ridden their luck at times with opportunities that Croatia have had. Perisic in the bar, and Kovacic should have scored earlier on, but that's football. You're going to give up chances against a team like Croatia, but they've kept themselves in the game. The long throws, do you know, I had a feeling that one of them was going to cause problems because Croatia weren't comfortable with that, and there were one or two that bounced around the box. Nico Williams ended up with a shot that went over, but it was causing problems. The players all got in there. It was one last literal throw of the dice, and it's worked out. And yeah, I'm really pleased for them. But Croatia, they'll be kicking themselves. He subbed Modric off just before to get his little applause, which was all very nice, but I'm sure he'd rather have been on the pitch and had some sort of control over that last minute. Yeah, he did show his class once again tonight, didn't he, with some lovely touches, Luka Modric. Let's go back to Nathan then. And Rob, are they still there? Are they still there on the pitch? Yes. Have they gone back? No, the players, they're just going in. I think it's Ethan Ampadu and Nathan just hugging each other, walking down the tunnel now. And listen, you know, you can't take away from the result, but you do have to look and analyse that game, right? You know, on a different night, you're 3 or 4, you know, goals down. But we said before the game, Ian, you know, it might be one of those nights that, you know, they hit the bar, they have shots, the possession, everything, and Wales pop up and nick a late goal. It's literally happened that way. You know, they've hit the bar, they've had all the possession, they probably should have scored a second goal, didn't, tried to see the game out, long throw right at the end, Wales go up, nick a goal. That's football. It's as simple as that. You know, you've got to credit Wales for staying in the game. You have to credit Robert Page for his bravery, his substitutions, but you do have to look at the game and analyse it and find ways of not having to score those last-ditch goals, because you're not always going to get that situation. They happen from time to time, but, you know, on another day you could have been, you know, out the side, you could have been down and buried. So a lot of food for thought for Robert, but I'm so pleased for him that they've got the result, and that confidence they'll draw from that, they can build on and go into Tuesday now. And if they get 3 points out of that game, then it's been a successful 2 games, really successful.
And the other thing, Ian, is we were talking to someone from the FAW before the game saying they're up to about 29,000 on the crowd. This should ensure Cardiff City Stadium is packed out. It wasn't a win, but if people are honest with themselves, how many even thought Wales would still be in it in injury time, let alone grab a draw.
Well, it didn't.
I mean, there's some disbelieving faces all around us. I have to say. I mean,
Dick Turpin just rolled past.
Yeah, exactly. It's a wonder we're not all arrested on the way out. But
it's football. That's why we love it, Rob.
Might be checking the team bus for a stolen point.
Oh, I love it. We've got loads of those. Yeah, they're here all night. Well, for another 10 minutes anyway. I mean, Latvia on Tuesday night, as you say, they're 133rd in the world between Central African Republic and the Philippines in the world rankings. It'll be only the second time that Wales have played them in the first time in a competitive game. It's an obvious thing to say, Nathan, that they should win that match, but it has been tricky at times, hasn't it, against these smaller teams from Eastern Europe?
Well, has tonight not shown you anything, Ian?
Yeah, but Croatia are a different team.
No, I know, but I'm saying you just don't take anything for granted. I think that's what, if you're Welsh, that's what if you're a Welsh player, that's what you take into that game. You know, we're in a game tonight that, you know, we've nicked a point right at the death. Let's not go into the Latvia game thinking, oh, you know, it's a done deal. Let's go and win the game. You know, let's go and get a first goal, a second goal, a third goal, put the game to bed, and then relax. You know, learn from other people's mistakes as well as your own. So, for me, I don't look at that game and think, oh yeah, it's a guaranteed 3 points. You've still got to go and win it. And if you win it 1-0, great. Goal difference is not great, but listen, you've got 3 points in the bag with a point tonight, and you're sat probably joint top of the table.
I'm just looking at the tables now, actually. Turkey top with their win over Armenia earlier on 3 points. Wales are second with that draw. Croatia third. I'm not sure what puts Wales in second. Because, you know, completely equal with Croatia. I'm guessing it's just because they won away from home that they are second ahead of Croatia. Latvia fourth with 0. Obviously, they haven't played. Armenia bottom, having lost against Turkey. Helen Ward, you're scanning social media at the moment, just looking at the reaction to Wales's draw there. That changes the complexion of the analysis, doesn't it, on Twitter and everything else. People before that saying it was men against boys tonight, largely. And, you know, if we look at it dispassionately, Wales weren't great. And I suppose, you know, there are a lot of players, you said it, who aren't getting a lot of game time for their clubs at the moment. You look at that Harry Wilson chance that he had. Sorry, Dan James from Harry Wilson's cross. He'll think again and thought, I should have done something completely different there.
Yeah, I mean, Dan James, he looks a shadow of himself at the moment. He, you know, often in the past he'd come into the Wales setup and he'd look like he was ready to go and he'd look confident despite what was going on, you know, at Manchester United or wherever he'd been. But at the moment, he just looks like he's really struggling for confidence. He's not playing with that smile on his face that we're used to seeing. So it's a hard time for him. He works his socks off and he always tries, but sometimes you need a little bit more. But that, you know, that's not to kill him. It will come back, and you know, he just needs that little bit of love. Maybe he needs to drop back into the Championship to find his feet again, get more game time. I don't know if that's an option on the table. But you know, in terms of social media, it has turned the sort of the tide in terms of what people are saying, but it's not easy to go to Croatia and look like a good side. You know, there's many a team, they've never lost there. So Wales aren't the first team to go there and be beaten or, you know, nearly beaten. But there's not many teams that would have come back and got a point there. So you have to look at both sides of it. They'll be disappointed with certain areas of the game, the goal in particular that they did concede, and they'll be disappointed with some of their ball retention. But as I said, it's not easy to go there and have good ball retention because Croatia are a wonderful side.
It is, man. It'll never forget tonight. Nathan Broadhead's being interviewed at the moment by TV. We'll try and turn that around and play it to you before we go off air at 10 o'clock. I mean, you know, what a night. How do you sum that up? He ain't going to sleep tonight, is he? Nathan Broadhead from Bangor in North Wales, formerly of Everton, now at Ipswich Town in League One, and you go and score against Croatia away from home.
I know, it's incredible, isn't it? And again, that's what football is all about. It's about those moments. And, you know, he probably didn't expect to necessarily even get on the pitch tonight, and he's done that. He's played a good solid amount of time, and he's, you know, all the subs that came on, while they didn't look like world beaters, they all did okay. And, you know, he's had his moment at the end that he'll be very proud of, and he'll remember this moment for the rest of his life, and the importance of the goal as well, and the potential importance of it will stick with him. It's not like he's come on in a game where they're losing 3 or 4 and he's stuck one in to get a consolation. Yes, that would mean a lot, but the fact that it means so much, and, you know, the timing of it and everything, it was just almost perfect for him.
If he never scores for Wales again, is it one of those? You'll always remember that one, but hopefully that'll be the first of many for him. Nathan Blake, again, if we look at elements of Wales's performance, certainly Rob Page talked after the World Cup about trying to make this Wales team more energetic, more athletic. He also talked about a performance to be proud of this evening for the fans. Did they hit those marks, do you think, tonight?
I mean, you can't come away from here, 1-1 and not be proud. But like I said, Ian, you do have to analyse the game as a whole, and you will have to improve. If you want to, it's not just about coming to Croatia and getting resolved. It's about, wanting to play better, wanting to entertain, wanting to become a better team, and not have to be in that situation where, you're one goal down in the last minute or have you. So, listen, Rob will be under no illusions. Things will have to improve. And I'd just like to say on Dan, I think, listen, Dan James, he has lost confidence. But I would, if I was looking after him and coaching him, I would just take him to the side and say, listen, you need to play on the right side. I've said it so many times, it's the easiest. Just push the ball past people and run, get crosses in. Build your confidence. Start building your confidence as an attacking player again. Because there was a few times here tonight, and he was on the left-hand side, and he can put a decent ball in with his left foot, but he likes to go inside, and sometimes his body position wasn't in the right position to take the player down the outside. I would just say to him, go and play on the right and just run people. Just utilise your pace, utilise your asset, get balls in the box, and just grow your confidence. And then you can start thinking to yourself, right, I'm going to come inside and start playing off people and doing what he done at Man United in his early days, and it Swans in his later days. So, it's hard to get players out of that rut sometimes and back into that confident mood, but I certainly think he can still do it at this level. Well, I'm more than confident he can do it at this level. I just think he needs a bit of guidance on how he's going to approach the game going forward in future.
OK, well, the last man to score for Wales prior to this evening was Bale. Now it's Broadhead, who's got the precious equaliser away to Croatia. Here he is. Let's hear what he has to say.
Nathan, you've just got your first cap for Wales and scored to give Wales a crucial point in this qualifying campaign. Just sum up how you feel right now.
Quite emotional, overwhelmed. I've been waiting for this for a long time, and thankfully I scored, so yeah.
And have you got any family out here watching you?
No, gutted, yeah. My dad was meant to come, but obviously he didn't come, so.
What will this have done, though, for confidence in the side, especially in this campaign? It's a new era for Wales football. What will that crucial point have done for the team?
Definitely, it gives us confidence going into the next one, and definitely the next camp. So, I think on to Tuesday, I think we should get 3 points, hopefully. So,
fantastic, Nathan. Thanks very much for your time. Congrats on today.
Yeah, 30,000 people will hope that they do get all 3 points at home to Latvia on Tuesday night. What a night for Nathan Broadhead. Final thoughts then from Helen Ward and Nathan Blake. Briefly, Nathan, I mean, Tuesday should be a great atmosphere and they should get the points. But firstly, tonight, what a story.
A fantastic story for Welsh football. Fantastic for Rob Page. Super fantastic for these fans. They've been great. We were talking to them earlier. Like I said in commentary, Ian, they came here with no expectation and have sung all the way through the game. They've got their shirts off, swinging them around their head, and they've just watched Nathan Broadhead just steal a result for them. And great for him. He sounded like he was still in shock, to be fair. Nathan scoring on his debut. I'm so pleased for him. So pleased for the fans and the coaching staff, Rob and the coaching staff also. It gives them something, a real platform that they can go and build upon.
Yeah, I think it's brilliant. It can't look too far ahead to Tuesday in this moment. They need to enjoy that. The fans need to enjoy it. I'm sure they'll have a fantastic night over there in Split tonight. The players will enjoy it tonight, and then as soon as they get home, it's focus on Tuesday. But fantastic moment. You know when you've stolen a point as a footballer, but it doesn't make it any less sweet.
And you've done it, Helen. You know what it's like. And you have as well, Nathan Blake. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your evening in Split. Thanks for being with us. Thank you, Helen Ward, for your company tonight. 1-1. Who'd have seen that coming then, especially how that game started. But we'll be live at the Cardiff City Stadium on Tuesday night for the follow-up, Wales versus Latvia, in front of a bumper crowd there in the Welsh capital. So that is it. We've got Adam Walton coming up here on BBC Radio Wales. He's live in Wrexham tonight, I believe, and it is a man from North Wales who rescues maybe an unlikely point for Wales in Croatia. Broadhead from Bangor with a precious stoppage time equaliser. Thanks for your company. We'll see you soon. Bye for now.